So if this is correct, then the restoration of all things per se, in and of itself, was never condemned. It was a political issue. Isn't that something? Perhaps this is why personal ambition is condemned so strongly in the scriptures. Let me restate. This is why personal ambition is condemned in the scriptures.
Torment for sinners. The Akan doctrine thus became the orthodox position of the church. Even so, it would be another 150 years before there were enough bishops opposed to restoration teaching to condemn it by a formal church council. Church councils condemn Origen. Origen was finally condemned in the Fifth General Council in 553 AD, attended by only 148 bishops. Even so, nothing was specifically said about Origen's beliefs regarding the salvation of all men.
Right.
It was left to the Emperor Justinian, 527 to 565 AD, to condemn Origen's belief in the restoration of all things. He did so specifically in Anathema 9. If anyone says or thinks that the punishment of demons and of impious men is only temporary, and will one day have an end, and that a restoration will take place of demons and of impious men, let him be anathema.
Okay, so it was left to, let's read that. Even so, nothing was specifically said about Origen's beliefs regarding the salvation of all men. It was left to the Emperor Justinian to condemn Origen's belief in the restoration of all things. He did so specifically in Anathema 9.
Church councils condemn Origen. Origen was finally condemned in the Fifth General Council in 553 AD, attended by only 148 bishops.
Oops.
Even so, nothing was specifically said about Origen's beliefs regarding the salvation of all men. It was left to the Emperor Justinian, 527 to 565 AD, to condemn Origen's belief in the restoration of all things. He did so specifically in Anathema 9. If anyone says or thinks that the punishment of demons and of impious men is only temporary, and will one day have an end, and that a restoration will take place of demons and of impious men, let him be anathema. The Church Council itself spelled out 15 anathemas against Origen, but none of them condemned his teaching that all men would be saved. In fact, they also said nothing about Origen's belief that even demons would ultimately be restored. This is particularly striking, since the Emperor himself had done so, and the Church Council would certainly have been pressured to follow his lead. Ironically, the same Church Council, in Session 1, claimed to follow in every way the writings of the two Gregories, who taught that all men would be saved. We further declare that we hold fast to the decrees of the four councils, and in every way follow the Holy Fathers, Athanasius, Hilary, Basil, Gregory the Theologian, Gregory of Nyassa, Ambrose, Theophilus, John, Chrysostom of Constantinople, Cyril, Augustine, Proclus, Leo, and their writings on the true faith.
And their writings on the true faith. So that's why we have an appendix regarding Gregory of Nyassa, which I will try my best to include.
Faith. In Donald Atwater's book, Sense of the East, page 17, he writes about these early church leaders and their beliefs. Origen and Gregory of Nyassa and many others among the Eastern Fathers believed that he came to save all spiritual creatures, not men only. He did not shed his blood on earth at Jerusalem for sin alone. He offered himself as a gift on the high altar of heaven to save the angels and all the universe, of which this little corner of earth is the smallest part. In Robert Paine's book, Fathers of the Eastern Church, pages 145 and 146, he affirms with more clarity the things Gregory and others taught, so always, Gregory of Nyassa celebrates the grandeur and nobility of men, with such charity that he could bring himself to believe that even the Prince of Darkness would once more be restored to his seat beside the throne of God. For Gregory, as for Origen, there is universal salvation.
Amen.
It is clear, then, that the Fifth Church Council in 543 AD understood what they were condemning. However, they seem to have been rather selective in their condemnations, choosing to anathematize Origen and Theodore, but not Clement of Alexandria, Gregory of Nyassa, or Gregory of Nazianzus. All of these early church councils, from 325 AD on, were primarily concerned with questions of the nature of God and of Christ, rather than the ultimate fate of the unbelieving sinners.
That's a good point.
If an average Christian today were to...
Let's read that again. All of these early church councils from 325 AD, we're going to have to continue that in the next video. Hold on.